everybody, and we're back for our Nature Diary number 6.
Yes, and this weekend it was a very special weekend because we had to put the clocks forward.
What does that mean, Mrs. Waters?
Well, it means that everybody in Great Britain moved their clocks from 6 o'clock, or midnight it was, to 1 o'clock in the morning. And the reason for that is to make the evenings lighter for the farmers. So as the plants are growing and they have more to do, they have more daylight hours when they're awake to get all the jobs done. Now, last week was the first day of spring and we've had some beautiful weather this week, but today it's a bit dull, so we've come into the greenhouse first to see if anything's changed in here. So let's have a look around, Beaky.
Look, Mrs. Waters, the radishes are really growing, aren't they? And gosh, I can see the lettuce sprouting. The beans haven't started yet though, have they? And there's the Savoy cabbage. And look, there's some more cabbage. They've really come on. Oh, the little sweet peas aren't growing yet. What else is that? What are they?
Those are some of the pansies, Beaky. I've repotted those. I've put them into bigger cells so that they've got more room to grow. There were quite a few in little pots, so they've now got their own little space. And let me show you over here. Down here, we've got the cauliflowers. Do you remember they were in one of the propagators with the lid on? And now I've put them into their own little pots, just to grow on a bit further inside the greenhouse where it's still quite warm and away from the pigeons.
Have you planted anything outside yet, Mrs. Waters?
I haven't, Beaky, but it's time that I got on with planting some carrots and peas, I think. But there's still quite a bit of digging to do and getting rid of the lumps of soil. It's still drying out from all the rain we've had as well, so I've just left it a little bit later. Do you know what I did do, though? I went and planted the sweet peas outside in pots, and then we had 2 really cold frosts, and I was worried that they might not survive, so I've had to cover them with some plastic. We'll go around there and have a look at those. Right, just while we're near the greenhouse, I've just got Beaky to hang on to the end of this sprout stalk. This is the one we left as an experiment to see what would happen, and it seems that there's a flower growing at the end which has some little purple bits in. Maybe it will open out into a purple flower, and then hopefully we'll get some sprout seeds, because we wondered where the seeds came from. You can let go now, Beaky. Okay?
Gosh, that was quite hard work, especially as I had to stay quiet.
Well, it's always hard work for you to stay quiet. You're a real chatterbox.
I know. You've made like a little tent, Mrs. Waters. What's this?
Well, behind there, Beaky, are the sweet peas in the pots, and this is protecting them from the cold winds and the frost. Luckily, there's a wall behind them, so I'm hoping that they're going to be okay.
Do they like it in there?
Well, they do, because it's warmer, but I do need to take it off and water them, so I mustn't forget to do that today.
Right, I'll help.
OK, thank you. Look here, Beaky, we've got the standard rose bush, and it's still growing tall with pink and green shoots. It'll be a while before we get any flowers, though, because it is still spring after all.
Are the ladybirds still in the old umbrella?
Let's go and have a look. Yes, they are, but there are definitely fewer of them today. Not quite as many.
Mrs. Waters, the daffodils in the shade have really opened up now. They're the last ones, aren't they?
They are.
Lent lilies.
That's right, you remembered.
The crocuses have all died, though, now. There's just the leaves left.
Yes, Beaky, but they'll come back next year, like we said. In fact, there'll be more of them next year.
Why's that?
Because each year the bulb will split and we'll get more flowers. Look at these daffodils, Beaky. The tall yellow one has died already. That was probably one of the first ones open. But near it there are some smaller ones which are not quite the same, so they're a little bit of a surprise. I was expecting all my bulbs to just be the tall yellow ones, but these seem to have more than one flower on.
And They're white with yellow middles. They are, they're pretty.
And look here, popping up through the grass on this side, we've got some more bulbs.
Are they going to be daffodils?
No, have a close look at the shape of the leaves and see if you recognise them.
Are they tulips like the ones in the plant pots?
They are, well done. I'm not sure what colours they're going to be though, so this will be interesting watching them grow.
This is the plant we asked you to guess. Can you guess now, Flo? Shush. She wants her ball.
I know. Anybody got any ideas? That's changed an awful lot, hasn't it?
It has. I'll give you a clue. You can put it in a pie, or you can make a crumble, or you can eat it with custard.
But it's very important that you don't eat the leaves, because the leaves are poisonous. We eat the stem of this plant. I'll give you one more clue. It begins with R or R. You've got it. It's rhubarb. And here's another plant that's going to give us fruit beginning with R. Anybody want to guess? It's a little bit like a blackberry, but it's not a blackberry. It's a
raspberry.
That's right, Beaky, a raspberry. It's called a raspberry cane. Can you see how quickly the hedge has changed? These little buds have opened up very, very quickly over the last few weeks, and by next week the hedgerows will look completely green and you won't be able to see through them.
Isn't this an evergreen hedge, Mrs. Waters?
It is, Beaky, but you can see two different colours at the moment because the new leaves are growing on the end of the twigs. So we've got the light green leaves and the dark green leaves, which are the old ones. I brought you into the orchard to have a look at the apple tree. Now, I can't get up there, so can you tell me what you can see?
Well, I can see some little buds opening on the ends of the twigs.
What do you think they are?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's going to be blossom. It's an apple blossom. This is the apple tree. And when that blossom opens, there should be a flower there. And if the flower is visited by a bee or a wasp, eventually an apple will grow. The fruit of the apple tree.
Is it going to take a long time?
It is. It's going to take a very long time. The tree needs to drink plenty water, and we need to get much warmer weather, and then the fruit will appear, but then it has to grow and swell, and then the sunshine will need to ripen it before we can eat it. So we've got quite a long wait.
What, years?
No, probably about 6 months.
Oh, well, it'll be nice to watch it changing, won't it?
It will.
Let's go back to the greenhouse.
Okay, we've just come back into the greenhouse to show you one last thing today before we finish, and Beaky's holding it in his mouth. It's a potato, and the potatoes are laid out in a tray in a cool, dark place, and it's called chitting the potatoes. And what we're waiting for is for these little shoots here to grow. These are called the eyes of the potato, and when this is planted they will grow above the soil, but beneath the soil you'll get lots of potatoes growing. We eat the tubers on a potato plant. Okay, the potato is the tuber, not the musical instrument. Okay, this is a really good way of keeping Beaky quiet, but I think it's time we said bye-bye. Okay, so we'll see you next week for our Nature Diary number 7. Okay, bye. Give it to me then, Beaky. Okay. Flo, what are you doing?
Bye. See you all next